Hi Libra, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with your reading, what you need to know for December. The first two cards that we have out are Nine of Wands and Three of Wands. You can feel like you're making progress, but it's also taking a bit of a toll on you. Or even that things are moving forward, but they still feel difficult. Like you can see things are moving forward, at the same time you can still feel like it's not so easy. I'm seeing Five of Wands, I'm seeing Seven of Cups. There's something here that's being worked out. So, Five of Wands and Seven of Cups, if this is connected with you having something going on with another person, it can mean that there's, I mean, it's going to hit you both on a, it'll definitely hit you on a personal level. It can also hit you on an interpersonal level. Five of Wands and Seven of Cups can be like an interaction that you're having where you feel kind of at a loss, that you can feel sort of confused about what's going on. You can feel like you haven't totally worked that out. You can feel sort of perplexed, and you can feel kind of like, I get even a feeling of being like a bit bewildered in connection with what it is that you're feeling. You can feel like something doesn't feel smooth, like there's a knot there, and at the same time you can feel like not completely sure what to do about this, not completely sure how to approach this, and it can feel kind of like different feelings and different things that are going on, and it doesn't feel like the most simple process to sort of undress. Now, on a personal level, when we have Five of Wands, it can say there are different feelings sort of coming up within you that you can see as being options for things that you can do here. Like, I can go this way, I can do that way, I can go that way, I can use my energy for this, I can use my energy for that. And then having Seven of Cups is feeling like, I'm not sure which of those things I should be doing. What do I even pick here? What am I supposed to be? And then it can kind of feel like that, like something is sort of balled up and you're trying to make sense of it, of like the best use of your energy here. But you have like different things sort of fighting for your attention is what this feels like. You can be like, this needs to be addressed, but it's not resolved yet. Some of you even too, this can be you trying to figure out where you want to go as well. I'm also seeing something social going on here. There can be something going on where maybe there's going to be a friend that you connect with or friends that you connect with. There can be a reunion of sorts that's happening in December, or there can be somewhere that you're going, people that you're connecting with, a person that you're connecting with. I see a social vibe here. This feels like something that's like not really stressful. This looks like something where it's fun and there's connecting and there's communication, like socializing and whatnot. So like somewhere where you can be chatty. This is a warm feeling that I'm getting from this. I feel kind of like you have different sectors that are popping up in the month of December where it's like you have this going on where you may be trying to make headway but feeling like it's difficult, but you're like, it's kind of moving, but this is still really challenging. Then you also have something else going on where you're just like trying to make sense of sort of the next steps, but you can feel like you're at a major crossroads, but like ×5. It feels like something very complicated like that's going on. And then also I'm seeing like socializing be sort of another sector of your life in December that's going to be happening. where there will be like a connecting, there can be like a gathering that's happening, there can be somebody that you're reconnecting with, something of that nature that's going to be going on. And I definitely see with that vibe, the social vibe, I definitely see you like chatting and stuff, and that being something that feels enjoyable. I'm seeing Knight of Wands and I'm seeing Six of Swords. Having Knight of Wands is about moving forward. It's about allowing your passion to lead you, allowing it to guide you. I kind of feel a slight burnout here with the Nine of Wands. Like you may feel like it's easier to get things done in smaller bursts of energy, but this may require a more long duration of your energy to be spread out, and that can be something that you feel impacted by. That can be why this process feels challenging. Maybe easier again for you to do like a burst of something and then things are accomplished. This feels like it's requiring a longer duration of energy and like of output that you have to do. And that part can feel challenging. Yeah, this Five of Wands being connected with the Two of Cups, this means that you can have a bit of an altercation with somebody that you're close with, but you can also feel that within yourself too. For some of you, this can be something where there's like a bit of like anger, or there's a bit of, it's going to feel like a fiery type of thing. Even if the outward expression isn't like that, that'll at least be how it's interpreted internally. Feels like instead of everything gelling, something needs to work out for that gelling to happen. I also get this feeling of kind of being pulled in two different directions as well. All right, having Seven of Cups and having Hanged Man. Seven of Cups and Hanged Man can be about how if in a very open and honest way you reflect, you can get some answers, but it can also speak too about when we want things to make sense but they don't make sense, and then we feel like we're getting stuck on that to the point where everything sort of becomes suspended. It can be a time to ask yourself, like, does this really matter right now? Does this really need to be figured out right now? Because Hanged Man can also speak about releases that we do, and it can speak about how we really can gain insight. I feel kind of like you trying to make sense of your feelings about things, and also there may just be some stuff that you're like, do I need to be holding on to this right now? Is this helping? When we have Hanged Man too, there can also be things that we think we have the information, and then we may not have all of the information, or we may not have completely accurate information. So we can be like thinking something and thinking that it's true, or thinking the information that we have is true, and that can sometimes not totally be the case when we have Hanged Man there. And there can be miscommunications or misunderstandings that are involved in that. Hanged Man also speaks about compassion as well, and when we have something like Five of Wands, you can be sort of up in arms feeling a type of way about something where there may just need, for some of you, forgiveness can be involved in this. I feel more like self-forgiveness being involved in this, but it can also feel like it involves another person as well. I kind of get this energy of like being hell-bent trying to figure something out, but then having that Hanged Man here feels like needing to make sure that you're being realistic. And then also too, asking yourself, are certain things that you feel caught up in, like, are they really the purpose? Are they really the important stuff? Or are you not seeing the important stuff here? Because this can mean too, as well, that things are sort of tied up emotionally in ways that haven't totally been unpacked. And so that may need to happen in order to get further with this. But for some reason, I kind of get this feeling of, so Seven of Cups and Hanged Man is feeling to me like something, you want something to make sense, but it's not making sense. Like there's a drive and a desire to unpack something, but then feeling like how to do that and almost feeling like not getting anywhere. And sort of stuck in that suspension of like what's actually going on. I wish that things were more clear. I wish that I understood this fully, and I don't feel like I do. And then when I'm seeing Five of Wands and I'm seeing Hanged Man, I almost feel like this is going to be like a bit of a letting go, like a bit of a surrendering more than anything. Like there may be something that you even see as like, I have a problem here, and you may actually be deciding to surrender this. Like this may be something that you look at it and you're like, is this as big of a deal as I'm making it right now? Or is this something that I need to like really die on this hill or not? And maybe it's something that you don't need to. Like I kind of get something that's been like a bit, you can feel like it would be like righteous of you to sort of hold on to this, but then you can be asking yourself maybe some other questions and being like, if I put this into perspective, like, do I really need to be doing this right now? Like this way? Does it have to be like this? Like, is this that big of a deal to me when I really think about it? Like when I really reflect on that, and when I put this in context of like everything else and figuring out what your answer is going to be then. This feels like around mid-month, this coming to a head. I wonder too if you feel like things sort of stopped, so this has to be addressed. But then I am seeing things end up feeling like it's coming together and making sense. Just intuitively, this is feeling like one of those readings where like you may be watching this right now and being like, I have no idea what this is talking about. Just like write down or like keep in your head certain things that I'm pointing out as far as events, and when you feel like that thing is happening, come back to the reading and this can explain stuff that you need explained at that point, or it can sort of like unpack stuff or guide you through those things at that point. Because for some of you, I feel like this hasn't fully come to a head if you're watching this before December, and around the mid-month mark, it feels like this is going to come up, and it can be like kind of a confusing situation, or it can be something where you're like, I don't really know what to do here with this, or like I need guidance right now. Like come back to the reading and watch it then. I'm seeing that things end up coming together by the end of the month. And it actually feels like by the end of the month, not only do things come together, but it also feels like warm and cozy. Like something even coming to a place that feels sentimental, enjoyable, emotionally present, emotionally involved. Something that feels nice. I get the sense of you working with some historical things here as well. Okay. Something that I'm definitely seeing here is that I feel like when you're going through something, like your perspective can be a bit detached emotionally, and actually part of the key of you moving through this can be connecting back emotionally, and that sort of gives you the answer of how you want to maneuver through. Like, meaning when you're trying to figure something out, you can go too far into an energy that's too much air energy and not enough water energy. And so it can be kind of like these bullet points of things, and it can sort of lack that emotional connectivity that ends up actually being the key to this, because that also needs to be integrated into this. And it feels like it gives you context, and it also gives you direction moving through this. Because what I'm seeing is that there's been something challenging. I'm seeing that you're going to be moving forward, and it does feel like you're going to be releasing something that needs to be released. Honestly, too, when I'm seeing this Five of Wands here, I feel like this is the part of you that may like to bicker at times, and this can also be the part of you that's like, hey, I have a problem with this, or like, I have a problem with that. And even though that's valid, this does feel like you may look and be like, wow, I feel like I'm being extra right now. You can feel like it doesn't need to be like that. And as much as this is valid, because I'm not saying this is happening for no reason, like you have your reasons for feeling this way and for wanting to behave in this way as well, or like address the things that you want to address, or like you have problems with certain things. But the way that this Five of Wands is coming across is there like not enough heart involvement in this, and that's why it's sort of being taken to a bit of an extreme, or why this feels like an incessant problem. Because it does feel like it lacks a little bit of perspective here, not in a thinking way, not in an air way, but it may lack some emotional integration that's needed. So again, feels like asking yourself, is this really a hill to be dying on here? Or is this something where I need to surrender a bit more? I need to let go a bit more. And I think also too that you can be going through something right now where it's like you have certain expectations, maybe of yourself, of other people, and they may not always be totally realistic to who people are, or who this person is for you. For those of you that this is a specific person with your Two of Cups, this would be somebody that you're close with. This can be something where you're like, you need to be on this page if we're going to sort of gel together here, but you can be the one that's being less flexible. You can be the one that's coming at this like a little bit too intense here for it to be a collaborative energy. And it's also something where the perspective can lack a bit of compassion as well. Is this compassion you need for yourself? Maybe. Is this compassion you need for this person that you're interacting with? Maybe. I do feel like part of the, like, I have a problem comes from you maybe knowing things that you don't totally want to admit to yourself. Or like, you see a person show up in the same way and then expecting something different and being like, well, I still have a problem with it. And it's like, they always show up like that. So like, what needs to be done here in order to reconcile with this? So there can be stuff about acceptance here as well. That's where Hanged Man comes in, and it's like, how do we allow? How do we surrender to this? How do we let go? How do we let go of that control? And how do we also let go of anything that doesn't allow us to see ourselves and others clearly? And I think that actually ends up being the key. It's like you can get fixated on a problem, but it feels like something sort of bigger is going on here, but it can feel, because we have Neptune, kind of nebulous a little bit. And so working through it in this way can be something that you find to be extremely helpful. And then that's when I'm seeing everything come back together. And it's like, wow, like I really was feeling like that, but now I feel like really good and things are like this now, and now we're like on the same page. But this does feel like there is historical stuff that needs to be addressed, because looking at this Five of Wands and Six of Cups feels like I have a problem with this, I have a problem with that, I'm still mad about this, I'm still holding on to that. And it feels like it's not allowing the connection presently, and that it's not allowing the integration of all of this energy presently. Compassion, empathy, love, connection, acceptance, willingness, collaboration, enjoyment. You know, also too, the feeling that I kind of get from this as well is that if you're in a space where you're sort of more regimented in a way where you're like, things should be happening like this, that, and then it's like not really following this list that you prepared to sort of control the situation, what you're experiencing, and this feels like on an interpersonal level, can really be challenging that. And then you're like, I have a problem with it not going like this, and that, like I made on my list. And it feels like not really allowing for everybody to sort of like fill out the space and take up the room that they take up. It may be trying to fit things into places that they don't belong. For some of you, fit people into places that they don't belong. Like, and you can be doing it to yourself as well. So this can be something that's going to be being addressed. What I'm seeing is that by the end of the month, there is this feeling of something that feels like a problem, an issue, something that needs to be addressed. If you're not labeling it as a problem or an issue, it can just be like a knot. I'm seeing it be dissolved. And I'm seeing you get back in touch with a sense of feeling where it feels like there's connection. And feeling too, like, I think actually kind of proud of yourself for figuring this out, because it wasn't easy moving through this. It feels like something that you had to use a lot of different aspects of your energy to sort of make sense of this and to figure it out. And in order to, yeah, you can feel like these are barriers that you're figuring out and that you're moving through. And really connecting with yourself as well, connecting with your feelings, connecting with your intuition. There can be stuff about mirroring that's going on as well. And there can also be stuff about like fantasy versus reality that comes up too. I do feel like something goes on in the beginning of the month that ends up culminating to be addressed by mid-month, but then ends up being addressed by the end of the month, like resolved by the end of the month. And this feels like something starts in the beginning of the month where maybe something was done carelessly or quickly or without a whole lot of afterthought or without a whole lot pre-thought, like before doing something. Or there can be something that somebody does when they have like a burst of energy, and maybe it's like something inconsiderate. It feels like something along the lines of that, like something that there can just be a problem with something and like a judgment about that, and then it like coming up to be addressed, because it feels like it can't be ignored by mid-month, so it must be addressed. And it can feel like there's a lot to unpack there in order to do this, but then it feels like putting things into perspective. It feels also to like recognizing where you have control, what is outside of your control, sort of going through that whole thing. And then I'm seeing things come back together. And it feels like all is right in the world. A little bit of a roller coaster for the month of December. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.